salutations, my friends, and welcome to a new video. Now, you guys know I love nothing more than a 5-star book, and I know a lot of you guys can relate to that. There is nothing better than picking up a book and falling in love with the characters, falling in love with the plot, and everything just making sense, not only as a story, but to you as a reader, and feeling the echoes of what lives inside your brain or what lives inside your heart, inside that latest book that you have picked up. There is simply no feeling like it. And while I would like to say that all of the books reciting on my TBR shelf are going to be 5 stars, reality is there is simply no way of knowing if that's going to be true or not. I have been known to purchase books and then upon reading them, not really loving them, or down the line unhauling them or DNFing them. And so unfortunately, while I would like it to be the opposite, not every book is a 5-star, but there are some that when I check the synopses and when I look at what the book supposedly does and I look at the reviews, it sounds like something that fits every single criteria I typically look for in a book. Good character work, good plot, good world building, if it applies, complex characters, good interpersonal relationships between the characters, or simply good introspection. Obviously, I look for different things in different books depending on the genre or what exactly the book is going to tackle or what it promises to deliver to the reader. And because of those things, I tend to have 5-star predictions. A very long-winded way to say, I am here to share with you guys some books that I think are going to be 5 stars when I finally finish reading them. The last of these videos that I uploaded was actually last year in April. That was the last time I uploaded some of my 5-star predictions and the books that I thought I was going to rate 5 stars. And while I'm not fully done with that list, I am only missing a couple of books. My list is almost done and I can't wait to share with you guys that final journey of reading the last remaining, I think at this point, 3 books in that list. I think I'm gonna make a whole vlog about it. It's kind of celebrate me finally finishing a 5-star prediction list because I've never done that before, and to do one final check-in and to give you the full rundown of what actually ended up happening with those predictions. But now, a year later, I feel it is time to renew this list, give you some new 5-star predictions that I can read hopefully in the next year or even less than that, and see if I am right about my suspicion about these books. And you guys may already know that feeling I associate with finding a 5-star read, and it is Calm, the sponsor of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. All jokes aside, you guys know I haven't been shy about sharing my latest journey with burnout and slowly but surely getting back into a semblance of a routine. It has brought on a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress for not being able to perform on the everyday as much as I would like to, or as I typically would, which is exactly where Calm factors into my equation and has been incredibly helpful because they are the #1 sleep and meditation app that seeks giving you the power to calm your mind, but also change your life. I think none of us are strangers to daily challenges and the facts that mental health isn't a cookie cutter approach, which means that an app like Calm, with its wide range of content, can help you navigate life's ups and downs. They've got so many different options in their app, like meditations to help you work out your anxiety and stress, boost your focus, and also help you build better habits, as well as better taking care of your overall physical well-being. They also have sleep stories, sleep meditations, as well as calming music to help lull you into sleep every night, grounding exercises for when you're feeling overwhelmed, as well as expert-led talks to help walk you through feelings of perhaps grief or self-esteem or anything that might be affecting your everyday life. I think the coolest thing about Calm is that it puts all the tools you need right in your pocket so that you can practice these several times a week. And I love that the app prompts you to do this at least 3 times a week so that it doesn't feel too overwhelming, but that it's also enough times a week that it becomes a habit for you that you can definitely sustainably sustain. And the coolest thing, because I'm partnering with Calm today, is that every single one of you that go to calm.com/MelReads will get 40% off a Calm premium subscription. Don't say I did not tell you. And let us get right into our 5-star predictions. And to start us off strong, I'm gonna come in with a repeat author for me, somebody that has already given me a full 5-star and a new favorite book of all time, because I trust that they can do it again, and that is gonna be A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. I absolutely loved 7 Days in June by this author, and I have no doubt that we can do that again, okay? We can do that again with another romance book. I recently read the tagline for this because I finally got a physical copy, even though this was one of my most anticipated releases for last year. And this is crazy because I didn't realize this portion of whatever could happen in the story. One florist, one pianist, one love story, 100 years in the making. And I know part of the whole gist of the book is the magic that comes from leap years. And we follow our main character, Ricky Wilde, who doesn't really adhere to the norm of what her family dynasty does. They are Atlanta royalty, they are all very well-known socialites, and she doesn't really fit that mold. In fact, as soon as she gets the opportunity to rent a Harlem brownstone, she moves to New York City with the hopes of opening her own flower shop, and there she meets this one guy that walks into her shop, a mysterious somebody that she has never really known, and that's where the story essentially kicks off. I'm really excited to read this because I felt 7 Days in June gave me everything I typically look for or want for in a romance. It had very realistic characters in a romantic setting. You see these characters be flawed, maybe not be able to work things out immediately, having to communicate a lot to figure out where they fit into each other's lives. We also see characters with mental illnesses, with chronic illnesses, and I feel the way that Tia Williams portrays people in general is my personal vibe in a romance book. So I can't wait to read Ricky Wilde, see what she's got to offer, because if it's gonna be anything like 7 Days in June, I think we have got another 5-star in the making. So this first one, I feel confident enough to say I think is gonna be 5 stars. You won't ever catch me missing the opportunity of adding a translated fiction to one of these lists. This one, to my perception, and I could be wrong, seems like the best blend of literary fiction with some magical realism. I'm not too sure on that latter part, but I'll cross that bridge when I get there. I'll find out when it's time, and that is the Kamogawa Food Detectives by Hisashi Kashiwai. I'm really excited to read this one, and I think it's gonna be a 5-star mostly because the way that translated fiction really emotes, I guess is the word that comes to mind, is very particular. I think it's very different from other literary fictions that I have read, and there is something so deeply but beautifully mundane about the way that these books are written and the stories that it presents that I think really resonate with me as a person, and I find myself often reading these books and highlighting so much, and these books so often echo back the way that I'm feeling when I read them. It almost feels like a hug in the form of a book, and it is not often that I don't rate these 5 stars. So that's why I think that's what this one's gonna be and what it's gonna do. In this one, we follow a father-daughter duo who are detectives and they own a restaurant. However, none of these things are in the realm of normalcy. People go to their restaurant because this father-daughter duo is able to recreate, very ingeniously so, recipes pulled from these people's memories that might be the link to their happiness, both past, present, and future. And it is said to, and I quote, provide a link to vanished moments, creating a present full of possibilities. That sounds like exactly my type of book and the type of, again, literary fiction, potential magical realism that I tend to really enjoy. So I can't wait to get this read. Also, the length of the book is beautiful. I love me a good shorty, so I cannot wait to get this read. And also, the cover doesn't hurt. It has a cat in it, and it's just a pretty cover too, so it's not too bad to stare at. Next up is a world I really want to get back into because the first 2 books in the series gave me so much joy, and it's been years since I have picked something up from this author, from this specific series, and that is the Pages & Co. series by Anna James. I absolutely loved Tilly and the Book Wanderers. I think it's such a wonderful little story. It's so wholesome. It's so reminiscent of why kids fall in love with books and how books can change people's lives, specifically that of kids. And I absolutely love that. That feeling encapsulated in a story and a book is just absolutely wonderful. And essentially the whole series follows Tilly, our main character, who lives above her grandparents' bookshop, and she one day discovers that she is able to not only pull her favorite book characters out of said books, but also go with them into the book and explore everything inside the story. And she figures that all out because her mom in the first book is not around. Her mom went missing a while back, and she is hell-bent on discovering exactly what happened to her mom because it seems to be tied to the art of book wandering, which she now discovers she is able to do. And in this one specifically, it seems we follow Tilly silly as a customer comes into the store asking for a specific book and then suddenly seems to forget it. And that unleashes a chain of events that she will have to figure out alongside the other people in her life. And I can't wait to get back into this world. I've been saying I want to read book 3 for so long and I've not yet done it. It also, again, helps that the book is super stunning. And when you look at the actual naked hardback, it's just absolutely ridiculous. This is the UK edition and I just cannot wait. I have to get back into this because you know how sometimes you're not really up to reading like the most challenging, complex books and you just kind of need a little wholesomeness whilst also having some themes to explore. I feel like middle grade really is a great conduit for that. And I've got several ongoing middle grade series that I've yet to finish that I really, really want to go back to because I haven't in a hot second. This is definitely one of them. And there's something about the wholesome feeling of Pages & Co. that I think will give me a 5-star. So I'm hoping that it'll deliver, that's for sure. Next up, I have got another repeat author for me, and that's gonna be Jessie Sutanto with Dialect for Aunties. You guys already know Vera Wong is one of my favorite books, one of my favorite series. I absolutely love Vera and her shenanigans, and I feel like Jessie Sutanto has really found her spot when it comes to cozy mysteries and the likes, and I am really, really excited to get into this one. It's been on my shelves for quite a bit, so I feel like putting it in a video like this will really encourage me, prompt me to pick this up as soon as possible. In this one, we follow our main character, Medi, who accidentally ends up killing her blind date, and in a bout of horror and desperation, she calls her mom to figure out what to do, and her mom ends up sending her aunties to help her out. And in the midst of trying to get rid of the body, they decide to ship it off in a cake cooler to the island wedding they're gonna be preparing and decorating and organizing and being a part of. And then everything gets more complicated when Medi's ex-college love, seemingly the love of her life, pops also into the wedding, and she tries to figure out if she can get away with murder, but then also get back the guy that she is really, really into. If this is anything like Vera Wong, this will be a success for me. So long as it has got good character work and some sort of emotional element to the story. It also seemingly has a romance element, plus the cozy mystery hilarity of it all with the aunties. I think this sounds like a recipe for success, given the track record. I think, fingers crossed, like I feel confident, but I'm also scared, but I'm hoping that it will be. So I've got confidence in Jessie Sutanto, so fingers crossed that that is possible because it sounds so, so very good. Look at what's next! I am including this in here even though I've already started it and I'm tabbing it because as I was looking through the shelves, I was like, what should I put in here? I should put the one book that I started almost a year ago. I got 238 pages in. I was loving this. I've also already watched the show, which I know I love, and the fact that I have not yet finished this and rated it what I think will be 5 stars is an absolute crime.
Porque tú eres malvada.
Yo no soy
Tú eres malvada.
malvada.
Tú eres típicamente la mujer que es bonita, pero todo lo que tiene de bonita lo tiene de mala. Las células de tu cuerpo y de tu alma están podridas.
This is obviously a Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. I think this is going to be a 5-star for me. I just can't imagine what world it would not be, given the facts that I love the show so much and that I know the books are better. So I am putting this on my list to call myself out for not having finished this yet. Obviously, Game of Thrones is a somewhat convoluted plot, but to simplify this to, I guess, the catalyst of book 1 and exactly what happens in the very beginning of the story, we follow the Stark family primarily in this one, which are located in Winterfell. They live in the north, and the Stark family is the one leading Winterfell. And when the king's most trusted advisor is found dead at the start of the book, the king, who is very good friends with Ned Stark, the patriarch of said family, calls upon Ned to follow him to King's Landing in order to become his new hand, his new most trusted advisor, and to take over because he doesn't trust anyone at this point in time, because times are very dangerous, and like the Starks like to say, winter is coming and things might get even more crazy. There is also the threat of the Targaryens, which are becoming more and more talked about at the start of the book, and their potential rise up as the rightful heirs of the throne. And overall, the story is just incredibly fascinating politically, whilst also having some really amazing world building and some amazing character work. So again, nothing more than a call out to myself, because this is a 5-star prediction for me, and I have yet to finish it. There are just some books that take me a little bit longer to commit to because I know what it entails. This is definitely one of them, but I'm hoping this call out will be enough. Next up, I have got The Lonely City by Olivia Lang. I have owned this book for quite a bit now. I went on a little shopping spree a while back, specifically for books that deal with loneliness. I myself struggle with that quite a bit, and as somebody who does have dysthymia, which is a chronic form of depression, it tends to really exacerbate that lonely feeling, and it almost feels like this, you know, constant little void just in there that doesn't fully go away. I really wanted to find books that dealt with loneliness and that maybe, you know, give it a flip on its head and talked about it in a more, you know, maybe hopeful manner, or somewhere that I could, you know, feel kind of my brain and my feelings echoed. And I found this book, which is said to be a gem for that specific feeling, and I have still to this day not read it, mostly because I know it's probably going to be a book that hits very hard. Like, if it does deliver in the way that people claim that it does, I know for sure I will be broken and then pieced back together, and just the possibility of that intimidates me a lot, though I know this book has a great potential to be a 5-star. This is kind of also similar to Dolly Alderton's books, where it's literary fiction but also non-fiction all at the same time. And so the book explores how Olivia Lang, the author, gets to New York City and suddenly has to face all of those feelings of loneliness. However, as she's fascinated by this somewhat shameful experience, she decides to explore the lonely city of New York by way of art. And as she does so, her hope is to fully investigate the feeling of loneliness and what it means to be alone, and reframing that mindset and trying to find the beauty of it, and also how the feeling of loneliness might be redeemed and also embraced, which honestly sounds so lovely and exactly like what my brain needs a lot of the time. And yet I find myself so intimidated by the notion of picking this up, but I need to just kind of grab this book and maybe not even vlog it, but just like keep it to myself, read it slowly but surely. Maybe I could turn this into a thing of like going out every time I read the book and exploring my city through a way of maybe coffee shops and having different drinks as I read the book, and just taking myself out on different dates with the book. I feel there are so many possibilities of what I could do with this just for me and my own time, because I feel like this is going to be a very personal experience, but I just have to get this started. So I'll get there when I'll get there. I'll update you when I do, but I just have this feeling in my heart of hearts, so this is going to be a 5-star. Chain Gang All-Stars is another book I think I'm going to give 5 stars. This is by Nanakwame Adjei-Brenya, and I just have this feeling, and I did start this book last year, actually around the same time that I started Game of Thrones, and then I fell into a little bit of a slump, so I never finished either of them. I got about 30 something pages into this one, and when I do get this book read, I am just gonna restart it right back and just read the book front to back, start to finish, so that I can really soak it up and not miss any details, because this one I know is going to be full of commentary that is not only going to make me reel, but that it's also going to make this, I think, a 5-star book. Our 2 main characters in this one are the stars of Chain Gang All-Stars, a program under CAPE, also known as Criminal Action Penal Entertainment, which is a highly profitable but controversial and highly criticized program implemented by the government, where they essentially set up these gladiator-style fights where people can earn their freedom. And the synopsis does say that our main character, Loretta Thorwar, is right there. She is right on reach for her freedom, but she decides to do one last act of defiance that might just cost her that same freedom that she has so hard fought for. And there is something about the way that the synopsis is obviously structured, and just the overall plot and the system that it's introducing as part of its world building, that is very, in my brain similar to that of something like The Hunger Games, where people's entertainment is by way of others' pain. However, just the baseline possibility of this book tackling the conversation about how the prison system is not made to rehabilitate criminals, obviously depending on the crimes committed, but rather to punish them. Honestly, really interesting if it does get into that, so I can't wait to see all that it's got to offer, mostly because this is sort of dystopian literary fiction. I think it's gonna be really, really fascinating. And last but not least, I have got Kiki's Delivery Service by Eiko Kadono. Obviously, this is a Studio Ghibli film, and I really enjoyed the film. I think it has a really abrupt ending for what it is, but I think overall the movie is really enjoyable. And what crime would it be if I did not attempt to read the source material? And I think given the fact that I have fallen more and more in love with Ghibli films over the years, because I did watch Kiki's a while ago, I think this does stand the possibility of being a 5-star book. I also got the Fairy Loot edition of this, and it is absolutely ridiculous. Like, these stenciled edges are absolutely wild. I'm trying to like hide back here so that it doesn't detect my face, but I absolutely love what they did with this edition. I think it is the most ridiculous thing ever. It is stunning, and in this story we follow our main character Kiki, who wants to follow the tradition of witches, which is when you are 13 years old and you get your powers, you move to a new town in the hopes of bettering the life of everybody in said town. She obviously sails with her companion Gigi, except that when she gets to the town of, I think it's Koriko, right? Yes. Making friends and helping people is not as easy as she thought that it would be. So it's all about her learning how to carve her spot, how to make friends, and how to make sure that she belongs in a place that she has never been before. I am really, really excited to read this. If the book itself is anywhere near as cozy as a Ghibli film, I think this will be a perfect material to maybe even read during a cozy bookish sleepover, which I am hoping to do sometime soon. So maybe something to think about. I think it would also make a perfect readathon book, or maybe if I'm just having like a bad week and I want to pick this up, I think this might just be a book that can cheer me up. I can potentially give 5 stars and really, really love. And what I've heard of the Ghibli films that were originally a book, you know, it's a book to movie adaptation, typically for those I have heard that the book is even better than the film itself. So I'm hoping that that'll be the case with Kiki's, but this edition, I'm so freaking excited. And these are the 8 books I think I'm gonna give 5 stars sometime soon when I do pick them up. And I did toy with the possibility of doing 10, but doing these 8 just felt right to me. And I want to leave, I guess, the last 2 spots up to you. If I were to ask you guys, what books do you think I'd give 5 stars to, whether I own them or not? Just something that you see and you go, you know what, Mel has loved something like this before. I think she would really love this book. Do let me know in the comments. I would love to know what you guys think I would give 5 stars. And if you've read any of these books, what did you rate them? Do you think I'll give any of these 5 stars? Or do you think some of these stand the possibility of not being rated that highly? I would love to know that too. So that is it for today, friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up down below. And if you reach the very end of the video, let us leave some cat emojis in honor of Kiki's Delivery Service, because I think that's gonna be really fun. Preferably a black cat, if you can find one in your emoji section. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already for more content like this. And if you do want more content from yours truly, to connect more closely, be part of a Discord server, have a ton of exclusive content and live shows, and also just help the channel further in general, Patreon is always linked down below in case you want to join it. No pressure if you don't want to, but it is always there in case you guys want to support the channel extra. It is a great way to support the channel in all of its different endeavors, so that's why it exists. It's always there, and it's a great opportunity to also connect a little bit closer to you guys. I love you guys so, so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye!